Okay, so I really didn't want to make a video on the Christchurch shooting, but I need to get something off my chest. I think after this shooting, a lot of people saw that the idea of ironic fascism is definitely just complete bullshit. It's real fascism. And so what I want to say to the left and to liberals is stop engaging with the right. Don't give them any more attention. Stop, call out posts, stop making these smart Twitter replies. This is not the West Wing. This is real life. All that these right-wing activists are doing, be them Ben Shapiro, Sam Harris, Candace Owens, is trying to deflect from the fact that they've been whipping up anti-Muslim sentiments for years. They've been whipping up the sentiments that are fertile ground for a shooting like this. The right is trying to cover up for the fact that the most subscribed YouTuber on planet Earth follows a bunch of white supremacists on Twitter. He went and unfollowed everyone. And he's trying to cover up for the fact that his rhetoric contributes to blatant white supremacy. Everyone who isn't, on the right, be them liberals, the left, whoever, have probably figured out that getting people to hold up a sign that says death to all Jews isn't a joke. It's real bigotry. We're seeing meme culture become real life culture because the reality is the internet is real life. And while you might think that right now is the perfect time to talk to some reactionary and show them that see how bad the Islamophobia is, don't. They're not gonna listen to you. They're gonna deflect. We know they're gonna deflect because they did the same thing back when Charlottesville happened and Keck Lord Michael Fields rammed his car into a crowd of people and fucking killed someone. They ran in circles saying, no, they're just jokes. No, Heather Heyer actually died of a heart attack. They're gonna do the same thing that they did after Charlottesville. We're gonna be in the same place. Your call-out posts not only aren't going to convince anyone, they're just completely counterproductive. We could be spending our time doing something else. If you're on the left and you want to start talking to liberals about how, liberal society is completely incapable of combating the right, that's probably worthwhile. They'll most likely listen to you, but recognize that you're going to get pushback because our society panders more to the right than it does to the left. Our societal institutions give the right an advantage. We currently live in a society where anti-Muslim sentiment is whipped up all the time in the media, and that gives everyone who is even a liberal just some flimsy excuse to indict Muslims as a whole based on one Islamic terror attack. Of course, they'll never do that to white nationalist terrorism and indict all white people because that actually is an absurd idea to indict an entire group based on what one person does. See, this is exactly why Dave Rubin left the Young Turks and became a right-winger. He was already Islamophobic, he just needed the perfect excuse. Our media portrays Muslims as dangerous, whereas white people don't get portrayed the same way. White people get portrayed as lone gunmen or troubled youth or whatever bullshit we come up with to justify why someone shot 50 people. Our media culture tells us to ignore white nationalism, and you're never gonna convince a reactionary about that because their entire worldview, their very identity, is built on the assumptions about white people versus the outside group, versus the Muslims, versus gay people, versus trans people, versus whatever their outside group is. White people get individualism, while Muslims get collective responsibility. That is exactly what fascism is about. You are not convincing a fascist otherwise. No amount of statistics on how much more rampant white nationalist terrorism is in the West is ever going to convince them. Their worldview is the individualistic white person versus the Muslim horde. Whether or not they actually frame it in those terms is besides the point. That is their subconscious underlying assumption. Right now, we are in a battle for life and death. At the beginning of this year, I actually had a really good feeling about the left in 2019. We got, Bernie Sanders is getting a lot of prominence. Jeremy Corbyn is making a big stand in the UK. LeftTube is actually growing exponentially. And so, there's a lot of good things going on. But this shooting really, truly made me realize that the right is not going down without a fight. As we gain more prominence, they are only going to get more and more extreme. The left isn't just going to show up and make everything better for everyone and then everyone will just calm down. The right is going to continue to escalate, and this is what people mean when they say it's socialism or barbarism. We're fighting for the survival of humanity, and we're going to have to claw tooth and nail to get to the society that we want to see. So what should we actually do? Well, if you're in America, I'd say join your local DSA chapter. Doesn't really have to be a DSA chapter. It can kind of be any organization. Doesn't even really have to be an organization. But if, the people you're talking to aren't super radical, try to push them in that direction. Like I said in my last video, revolution is going to come one day. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be in 2 years. I don't know if it's even going to happen in the 20s or 30s. I don't know when it's coming. But it is. And the more people who understand what's at stake, the better. Get together with people and push for radical institutional change. Leave individualism in the fucking garbage. Stop making your call-out posts. Unionize, agitate, protest. Stop grandstanding and dunking on right-wingers on Twitter to make yourself look good. Do something that actually will make the world a better place. It's socialism or barbarism. If we don't act now with an understanding of just how dangerous the right really is, we may lose our only chance. Thanks for watching this angry and probably pretty depressing video, a little shorter than some of my others. I recorded a different video yesterday that I think I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on and then try and get uploaded within the next week. But I really needed to get this video out. I guess I'll tell you, I just made a Patreon, which you can go become a patron of. If you liked this video, subscribe. Do the things. I don't know. It feels a little weird to self-promote on this video, but you know, if you want to see more of my content, there you go. That's how you do that. Follow me on Twitter. Bye.